If you had to be placed in a saw trap, which one would you choose? What is good, everybody, and happy holidays. We are back for ranking saw traps based on survivability. Part 2. Last time we looked at all the traps from movies 1 to 3, and I gave my opinion on how survivable I thought that they all were. Remember? Thank you guys so much for checking out that video and enjoying it if you did. And let me know if you guys are still enjoying this, and maybe we'll do the last 4 Saw movies in a fart pee. So let's try to have a great fun time. Live or die. The choice is yours. Let's drop in. Now we're on to Saw 4, starting off strong with the mausoleum. Alright, I'm sorry, but what the flip? But nah, for real. Bogus Central Station. The one where 2 guys have to work together, but one guy's eyes are sewn shut and the other guy's mouth is sewn shut. So they don't even get rules with this one. They just wake up in these circumstances and get no context about what they're supposed to do. Truly one of the most unfair ones. Long gone are the days of Saw 1 where they have the whole movie to talk to each other and solve it like a puzzle box. Now it's just a fight and one guy can't see. Not to mention, this guy murders the other dude and then rips his mouth open. What the fuck? Why didn't you lead with that? Seeing as though this guy's involved in the later trap, I kind of feel like he was supposed to survive, so yeah. So in this movie, we see that Jigsaw is dead, and then they do an autopsy on him. And I was watching and I was like, bro, it would be so funny if there's a tape recorder inside his body. Oh, there's a tape recorder inside his body. I love these movies. Next, we got the hair pull. In this movie, we follow Detective Riggs as he goes through a series of traps that teach him that he's too good of a police officer and he wants to save people too badly.
You wanted to save everyone. Will you learn how to let go?
Honestly, at this point, I have no idea what Jigsaw's morals are. He just picks any random reason to fuck with you.
Riggs, you must learn to be more indifferent to the suffering of others.
So here we see this chick is slowly getting her hair ripped off. This would hurt, but would it really rip your whole scalp off like we see in the movie? Either way, the combination's like inside the gears, but the clear and easier way to beat this trap is to find a way to cut her hair. I think that's what he's trying to do when he goes in the kitchen, but he has a gun. I would try to like shoot through the hair. Even if it didn't cut through all of it, it would still like burn and fray some of it and you could like rip it off. Right? What Riggs doesn't know though is that this chick has her own game in which she has to try to kill him with a knife after he frees her because she's a criminal and he's gonna take her to prison. After the lamest murder attempt of all time, he rips her scalp off even more and then slams her through a glass door into the most insane transition in the entire series. This one I'm calling too hard because of the I don't want to get stabbed. Next, we got the hotel room. This is really one of the grossest scenes in the series. It really makes me feel icky, so I'm not gonna say that much about it. But I really don't understand why, when Jigsaw gives Riggs the evidence of this guy's misdeeds, why does he put him in the trap instead of arresting him? I don't know. Anyway, all in all, it's funny the way this guy's limbs get ripped off like a cartoon character. Moving on. Here we see the knife trap. The first Saw trap that John Kramer ever created. And he used it on the guy who splatted his baby. Oh man, I don't know why I'm laughing. I feel like an actual maniac after that. This one is simple. Stick your face through a barrier of knives to release yourself from a chair. Just whatever you do, don't jump at John Kramer after you get free. These movies are truly comedic goldmine. Either way, this one is clearly too hard for my taste, especially compared with what's to come. Okay. Here we get the spike trap. In this one, Jigsaw puts this woman into one of the most brutal traps I've seen because her husband abused her. Yeah, Jigsaw, you are too much today. But for real, she has to pull the spikes out of her own body, which are stabbed into her and her husband behind her. Vital spots for him, not vital for her. She has to pull the spikes out of herself to bleed her husband out and break the ties that bind. Like, bro, you've got to be kidding me. He always comes up with the most insane ones for the most absurd of offenses. In this one, I'm definitely calling bogus. There's even collateral damage on this one from the world's most elite forensics team. Here we have the ice blocks. The last trap of Saw 4, we finally get to see what's become of Detective Matthew Wahlberg, aka my favorite character in the franchise. He got shackled up at the end of Saw 2, but no. He didn't wait around for 20 minutes trying to figure out what he was gonna do like every other Saw player. He instantly picks up a toilet cover and bashes his foot into smithereens and gets out so fast that he's able to catch up with Amanda. Goated. Unfortunately, he loses the fight when Amanda kicks his foot into a right angle. Then they imprison him for 6 months where he befriends a rat. For real though, What did he do to deserve such extended torture compared to all the other Saw players, as Matthew says himself? I don't want to play anymore. So the reason I'm picking this one as the easiest trap in Saw 4 is because all they have to do to survive is have this guy not make it there in under 90 minutes. For real, as long as he doesn't go through that door before the clock runs out, they all live. I don't know, patience or something. So yeah, in the real world, nobody's gonna be able to do all that other Saw stuff, all those traps, and then get there in 90 minutes. Like the first recording where it's like, go to where it all began. Look under the rainbow. The answer's been under your nose all along. He's not gonna know what the fuck any of that means. And even if this guy somehow turns out to be a super genius, all they had to do was bar the damn door. They have one guy who's completely free to walk around. Just put a chair up under the handle, do something. So I'm calling this one easy. Saw 5 starts out right where we left off. And one of the big twists of all these movies is that every single trap in like the last 3 movies all took place at the same time as Jigsaw died. It gets so convoluted, and at a certain point, it's pretty inaccessible to anyone who's not watching these movies in order. Like, you really have to watch these back to back to back like it's a TV show in order to understand what's going on. It's honestly an interesting way to do sequels, and I like it. First, we have the pendulum. We're back to the unwinnable traps. Tie. The idea of the pendulum blade is actually pretty cool, and it feels like it would be like a classic Saw thing. But the issue I have with it is that this was built by Hoffman, not Jigsaw. The thing with John Kramer is that he's like a famous engineer, right? So how the fuck did some cop build this thing? Next, we have the cube, and it's another trap built by Hoffman just to kill someone. This time, Agent Strong. The trap is your head's in a box, and the box fills up with water. Sorry. Luckily though, in one of the dopest moves in the franchise, Strum actually takes out his pen, stabs it into his throat, and opens it up so he can breathe. I really have no idea if this would work in real life, but bravo. Next, we got the keys of life. So in this one, Hoffman builds this 5-person trap, and I just have to wonder, how the hell did he pull this off? So first he has to track down, subdue, and kidnap 5 people at basically the same time, and then set up a 4-part trap all by himself. Also, the timeline is a little bit confusing, but did he set this up and then go back to be involved in the other traps in Saw 4 too at the same time? I mean, this guy's omnipotent. In the other movies, they tend to drop all these hints, and like there's like little pieces of lore that like explain how they kind of set everything up. Like you see in Saw 2, John not only had Amanda helping him, but he also hired this random guy to help kidnap the others, who also ends up being in the trap himself. This time, Hoffman kidnaps 5 bigwigs of high society who probably all have their own personal security, then puts them in this giant like underground 4-part trap. How did he zone this property? Anyway, these people came off a bit smarter at first when they point out like certain things, so I was like, oh, thank God. Some smart players, unlike those idiots in Saw 2.
Somebody has to die.
No, it says, don't listen to your instincts.
Do not attempt to use this key on the door to this room. Fuck this, man.
Yeah, fuck this. That's a good idea.
But you quickly find out these are the dumbest batch of players yet. There are 5 people here with 5 keys. Only one person can go up to get a key at a time. Jigsaw alludes to the fact that there has to be an odd man out to sort of trick them into not working together when they're really supposed to work together. The twist with this one is that all 5 keys are the same key. So if one person got the key, he could have used it down the line. They all could have gotten free. That said though, even if they don't figure that out, there's still 5 keys. So all they had to do was allow each other to take turns, and then they all would have survived. So this one I'm calling easy. But to be honest, you don't know who you're gonna be in this trap with and how well they might work together as a group, so I'm not saying it's the easiest. Next, we got the bomb hole. 3 keys to open 3 holes, get inside the hole before the bomb goes off. So there are 4 of them, but only 3 holes to hide in, right? Except for the fact that all 4 of them could easily fit into one of the holes. To their credit, I guess, this girl later figures out that there was enough room for all of them, but to me, it's actually unbelievable that they didn't put this together the second they saw these holes. It's not like the covers were opaque and they couldn't see how big the holes were. They were just bars. You could instantly look in and be like, we could all fit in there. You don't need to measure it. So yeah, this one is pretty much child's play. The electric bath. In this one, they decide, well, someone's died every time already, so I guess someone has to die again. Let's murder this woman in cold blood. Only for her to realize less than a minute later, wait, I think we all could have grabbed a tong and then only gotten shocked a little bit. They truly are amazing under pressure. I'm calling this one medium hard because you don't really know how much electricity is being outputted or how much a human body can handle at once, so it's a little bit sketchy. And here we are. By far the most memorable trap in Saw 5 is the blood sacrifice. They have to fill up a 10-pint jar with their blood to leave the room. And since there's 2 of them left, that's 5 pints each. Now, in this movie, this young man decides, for some reason, to push his hand onto the saw so far that it splits his entire arm down to the elbow and turns the whole thing into a lobster claw. Bro, why did he do that? Talk about an overachiever. So the way I would do this one is piss and shit in the jar. Especially if all the homies survived up to this point. We got 10 pints of caca and wee-wiz between us, believe me. Finally though, and the easiest trap to survive in Saw 5 is the glass coffin. In this movie, there's this whole cat and mouse game going on between Strom and Hoffman. And at the very end, Strom finds this room and this coffin where it says, get inside the coffin to survive. And it turns out it was being literally truthful. The only way to survive this room is to be in that coffin when the walls close in. Unfortunately, Strom decides to beat up Hoffman and throw him in the box before getting squished himself. The funny thing about this though, is that when Strom finds this room with the coffin, he's not like locked in. He could quite literally be like, oh, there's a saw trap here. Maybe I should just leave the way I came in. He only decides to stay so that he can throw Kaufman into the box. Hoffman into the Hoffman. Throw Hoffman into the coffin. Don't get on here rapping. For someone who's been studying saw traps throughout his career, he doesn't take into account the fact that he might not know what's going to happen in here. What happened to the guy who used a pen to breathe? So yeah, child's play. Just don't interact with the trap. And here we are with Saw 6. Starting us off is the pound of flesh. So every trap in this movie is basically a Guitar Hero face-off where only one of you gets to walk out alive. This is truly the movie where any sense of morals that Jigsaw has are truly and utterly gone. I mean, in pretty much all the other traps, at least the ones made by John Kramer, even if it was really unlikely, he always added in a way for everybody in the trap to walk out alive if they just followed the rules and completed their tests in time. Now the traps are designed around 2 people, one has to live, one has to die. Also, I don't know what Jigsaw was on, but these traps have some serious balancing issues. Starting off with this one. We have these 2 lone people who have to compete to see who can weigh down the scale with more parts of their own body. Jigsaw says that they give people loans who they know have no way of paying back in order to enrich themselves while ruining people's lives. I like to think that he says this because he had a small business idea himself that he went to them with that inevitably failed, and now he's got them in the trap like, you knew what you were doing when you gave me that loan for Toilet Buddy. It's not my fault it failed. Anyway, while the guy cuts off big chunks of his big beer gut, the lady cuts off her whole damn arm to win. Holy shnikes! So first off, I thought about this one a lot. They can't throw their tools on the scale because they're chained down, and they probably have no shoes. Usually it seems to be a recurring thing that players are shoeless when they're in these traps. However, if you haven't noticed, they still got their clothes on. So here's my plan. I enter the game. The other person's like, screw you, man! I'm cutting off my hand! Oh my god! They throw it on the scale. I'm like, no, I can't do this! I'm gonna cut off a small chunk of my belly, but it's probably not even gonna be enough to compete with your hand. I go behind the table, make some noises like I'm cutting through myself. Then at the last second, I jump up and throw my big, thick blue denim jeans on the scale. Sorry. So yeah, while I think this one maybe can be cheated a bit, you're still up against another opponent who you have to outdo, so I'm calling this one a toss-up. Hold your breath. So the main trap sequence thing of Saw 6 follows William, a health insurance executive, who denies sick people coverage to save his company money. He's kind of the ideal Saw victim, so they pretty much pop with this one. Also, it's surreal seeing like a normal building in the Saw universe, when I swear every single other set we've seen in all the other movies are just warehouses, rundown police stations, and like dirty brick apartments. Both Lawrence and Jeff's wife are doctors, and look at where they live. Anyway, the traps with William are clearly personal for Jigsaw, so because of that, he wants to teach him these lessons, but he uses random people as fodder to do it. In the first trap, he has to try to hold his breath longer than the janitor at his firm, who, yes, is a lifelong smoker. First person to breathe gets their ribs smashed in. So the janitor doesn't even get his own dedicated Saw message. Plus, William is clearly meant to participate in the rest of the Saw traps, meaning John literally just set this guy up to die to make his point. You've taken your health for granted by smoking your entire life. Now, Let's see if you can hold your breath longer than someone who has never smoked. So for these ones, I think it would be more fun to look at the trap itself rather than the literal situation that's set up in the movie. If you know what I'm saying? So like for the hypothetical, let's say you're just in the trap with a random other person, not like the janitor or William. Personally, I haven't been the best boy ever. I've had a ciggy butt before. I had a hit of the jewel in college. I hit the elf bar white boy style. I'm not proud of it, but we're not all perfect. So if I'm up against a swimmer, I'm fucked. And honestly, trying to hold your breath while your adrenaline is just pumping sounds insane to me. So I'm calling this one too hard. Now we get the most absurd trap in this movie. Truthfully, what the hell was Jigsaw thinking? This is The Choice. So William has to decide who dies between these two people. One, a lady who has diabetes, but a family. Two, a guy who's healthy, but has no family and no friends. Imagine you're just some guy who lost his family and did nothing else wrong but be socially awkward, and then you wake up one day in a barbed wire noose. And Jigsaw goes, this lady is sick but has a family. This kid might be healthy, but he's a fucking loser with nobody to hang out with, so he probably deserves to die more, don't you think? All because he wanted to teach some insurance CEO that his policy was kind of evil. Like, damn! Anywho, so he kills that friendless loser, then dips. And, how the hell is she gonna get out of there? So yeah, this one's another toss-up. If you're in this hypothetically, who knows who the other person's gonna be? I mean, what if I'm up against a pregnant lady or a younger kid? Yeah, I think I'm getting that axe. The boiler room kerfuffle. So here, we got a hot maze. William is able to take some of the steam off of this woman so she can progress through the maze, but that puts the steam onto him. What a good guy. Unfortunately, there's a twist. The twist of this trap is that the key to her gizmo is inside his love handle. I love how he's like, okay, I can do this.
Okay, I can do this.
And then she just starts going after him. And then commences the first ever saw fight! I love this one, but would I want to take part? Absolutely not. By the time she even gets to him and finds out where the key is, there's only 20 seconds left. So yeah, absolute bogus. The shotgun carousel. William enters to find his dog pack, or whatever they're called.
The dog pit. They work as a team.
They're like his interns that find discrepancies in people's paperwork so that they can deny them coverage. In this trap, William has to choose 2 people to save out of 6. And I absolutely love this scene. The way everyone starts freaking out and turning on each other trying to get William to spare them is just pure entertainment.
I'm pregnant! I'm pregnant!
No, she's not! She's lying! She's fucking lying!
She's lying!
Mr. Jason, she's lying!
But in all honesty, screw this one. Look at me. I've got nothing going on that demands sympathy. We all know that if I was in there with 5 other people, I'd probably be the first one he decides to blast away. So for this one, I'm saying, no thank you. This movie has a couple other traps, namely the one where Roderick decides to slam William with a wall of acid injections because he said loaded diaper was ass, and he also like killed his dad or something.
Kill my father, you motherfucker!
Then of course we have the reverse bear trap 2.0, where Hoffman with some very quick thinking and some pretty luckily spaced metal bars manages to save himself from certain doom. These are both some great scenes, but I'm gonna disqualify them for our purposes because they weren't designed to be winnable. So for the easiest trap in Saw 6, I think I have to go with the pound of flesh. I'm sticking by my blue jeans idea. Obviously, that's not foolproof by any means, but there's a chance. So tallying up the scores, the easiest traps in these 3 movies, in my humble opinion, are the ice block head door crutch opener, the glass coffin, and the pound of flesh. And the easiest is the razor box. Damn, another razor box suite? All right, JK. For the easiest between these 3 movies, I'm gonna have to go with the glass coffin. Just leave, man. Just leave. Thank you guys so much if you watched up to this point. You know I appreciate it to hell and back. As you can tell, I'm having so much fun making these, so please let me know if you want another part to the series. A fart pee, if you will, and we'll keep going with the rest of the movies. We'll especially have some fun talking about Saw X. Anyway, I appreciate you. Hugs and kisses. See you guys next time. Game over.